Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Still no baby in sight. Yo, I'm so tired. Anyway, my name is Sige Nofemela. Yes, call me Sige. Sige Lalwa, but Sige, people call me Sige. And yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel for those who are new subbies. I don't know what's happening, but people are really coming in and subscribing, and I'm hoping I can be the content creator that you deserve, because if you subscribe, then I must give you content. But yeah, this is part 2 of the last video that I did. What shall we say to these things, based on Romans 8 verse 31. And today I wanted us to talk about insecurities. So what shall we say to insecurities? And I'd like to begin my video with obviously giving you a definition of what insecurity is. So insecurity is uncertainty or anxiety about oneself, basically a lack of confidence. So when you're uncertain about yourself, about what you stand for, and obviously feeling some type of way and being anxious about yourself. A lack of confidence. When you are needed to be confident and you need to vouch for yourself, suddenly you cannot do that. And I just wanted to ask you, have you ever experienced someone trying to sell you something and they themselves weren't confident about what they were selling? Like they're stuttering, or they are not sure about the service that they want to give you, or the product that they want to give you. And you just feel some type of way. You're like, do I need to help you sell this to me? Why are you yourself not confident about what you are selling to me? And how did that make you feel? Think about it. How did that make you feel when somebody did that? The same then will happen. You know, the feeling that you get of just being like, okay, maybe I won't buy that, or I'm not convinced if you are not convinced. If you can't tell me these details about this thing, then I don't know, I'm not buying that. We will feel the same way, or the same feeling comes through when we are not confident about our purpose. We're not confident about what we stand for. We are not secure in who we are. And obviously there's stages in life, and God walks us through all those stages. But when you sell, or when you present yourself in front of people and you are trying to get them to buy into something, you're trying to make them subscribe into your YouTube channel, you're trying to make them subscribe into your ministry, or even subscribe into the business that you have to be confident. And so it is very smart that the enemy would ploy against you being secure, because he knows that if you are insecure, then you will present the brand or your gift or whatever you have to say to people in a way that will make them doubt. And he doesn't even need to attack your business, because you yourself showed yourself to be insecure about what you were saying, and therefore people are already doubting you, and he gets to lay back and just watch you being insecure and basically doing injustice to your own project, to your own calling, to your own ministry. And so that's why the enemy would love us to be insecure. And I also wanted to do the signs of insecurity, the same way that we did about imposter syndrome, and the same way that we're going to be doing about inconsistency next week, hopefully. Yes, I just wanted to go in and say, okay, these are the signs that maybe you are insecure, or these are the signs to look out for when it comes to insecurities. And then I also just want to equip you, because this is a place where we equip people. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to not, help you and help myself at the same time. So I also looked out how we can deal with insecurities and how you can combat them in certain situations. But let's begin with the signs. So the signs of insecurities, I have 4 signs here. These are the top signs, and obviously there's other signs that you can look out for, and maybe you can comment down below the other signs that you know of insecurities, or maybe the experience that you've had and you've come out to say, okay, maybe I'm insecure about this, and this was the sign that I had. So sign number one is being overly critical of self or others. Yes. So when you criticize yourself too much, you have nothing positive to say about yourself or others. I know I was, I think, a teenager, and my aunt had to call me out. She was like, dude, you always complaining. You always saying something about someone. And when I reflected, I actually saw that I was actually insecure about the way I looked, about how my body was, because I'm quite tall, and obviously the woman, or I don't know what was happening in my teenagers at that time, but like the more curves you had, the better. But I was never like curvy because I'm tall, so I was always lean, and I would feel insecure in that body. And I just remember that I would just comment on every lady that I saw. Go to, she's so tall, or she's so thin, or this. And then my aunt was like, dude, why are you always commenting on people's bodies? Stop it. And when I reflected, I saw that actually it's because of my own insecurities about my own body that I am now projecting onto others. And sometimes being negative about oneself. So you bashing your own body before like anyone can have an opportunity to say something about your body, like I'm so tall, or this is schwab, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you say to yourself that just shows that you are just being negative and you just refuse to be positive. Yeah, a joke here and there, about yourself. I don't know, I don't do that anymore, but obviously maybe it's not that harmful, but you need to watch when you just can't be positive about yourself or others. Usually sign of insecurity. And then perfectionism. So people actually call themselves perfectionists, and they label themselves all these things. And I mean, being perfect is good because it just shows excellence. It shows that you are caring about your work, you love your work, you pay attention to detail. But then perfectionism to the point of never being satisfied. There are people that it doesn't matter how many hours they put into something, doesn't matter how good it looks and how perfect you tell them, like, dude, this is perfect. When I look at it, it looks perfect. They are never satisfied. They feel like they could always just, do something else. And there's always room for improvement, surely, because we are not perfect beings. But because you are not a perfect being, you're never going to get to that point where it's going to be perfect. I mean, only Jesus and God and Jehovah can do that. You cannot do that. So the perfectionism to the point of just never being satisfied with anything, that usually is a sign of insecurity. Sign number 3, high levels of anxiety and just being stressed. So when you're just constantly anxious about something, you don't know what it is, you're overthinking things, you're always stressed. And I mean, in this time, obviously, there's a lot of other contributing factors like, the COVID and jobs and certain things. The uncertainty around us right now makes us like anxious a lot and stress a lot. But over and above that, just you on your personal level being anxious and just not being confident or not exuding that confidence, real confidence that comes from inside. Because I also know there's fake confidence. There's people that exude confidence, but inside they know that they're anxious. When they need to enter rooms, they are anxious about something, or they just constantly feeling stressed. And when you ask them what is stressing them out, then they can't really tell you what it is that they are stressed about. It might be a sign that you are insecure about something in an area. It might be career, it might be in your workplace, it might be in your gift, or because maybe it's new to you. And so look out for that sign. And then there's this one, which I did allude to in the previous point, which is an overly high sense of self, but usually it's fake. So those people that are like overly confident, when they come to a place, you can definitely feel their presence, but there's something a bit off. You're like, I hear you, I see you being confident, but I don't know, you're just doing it too much. And they're usually trying to hide their shortfalls. Those people that like are always telling you about their positives, like, oh yeah, oh, I got that right. I still remember that this other time I went to an interview with this particular person, and she was really confident to a point where I felt intimidated at the beginning, because I was like, yo, she knows this, so it means she has a job, and all of that. But as it progressed, I was like, I don't know if you really like feeling confident, because I then found out that she hadn't been getting jobs like for a while now, and she's been like desperate to get a job, and she just couldn't. And so like she was just exuding like the overly confidence, but at the same time I could just sense that there's something going on there. And yeah, so that can happen when you're really being overconfident, when people just like you are know-it-all. Basically, there's nothing that you're learning from people. You're like, no, I know that, no, I know that. And yes, that could be a sign of insecurities. Okay, so now that we've covered the signs, what can we do then to make it better for ourselves? Okay, so how to cope with insecurities or being insecure, and how can you then still exude confidence, real confidence, while you do try to manage your insecurities? First point, admit and acknowledge the insecurity. Wherever it's coming from, we need to say, yes, I am insecure in this area and I'd like to work on it. This is the hardest. I feel like even for me, it's such a challenge. Admitting that maybe, yes, it's not them, it's not the situation, it's not the environment, it's maybe me, and I'm being insecure about this particular thing. And that would help you to cope, because once you admit something, then you can follow some steps to actually cope with it, get it out of your life, pray it out of your life, and just have action steps that you can follow. But if you don't admit that it's there, then you cannot do that. And then number 2, you need to assess where it comes from. Some of us have traumas from, childhood. Some of us have things that maybe in that environment, it's not where you thrive, and maybe you need to get out of that environment sometimes. Once you admit that, okay, I'm insecure, it's not the environment or whatever, but you don't like what the environment itself brings out in you, and so you don't even need to be in that environment, because there are environments where we don't need to be in. I mean, there are relationships that we don't need to be in because our insecurities get to us because we're not treated right or whatsoever. And so you need to just evaluate where it comes from. And also, I think this was something that helped me last year when I started exercising. Exercising has so many benefits, like taking care of your physical health changes the way that you even think. And I didn't even know that. Without you even asking for it to do it, you would start seeing things differently, because your mind is going to be, changed, and something just happens when you exercise. So when you take care of your physical and you look good and you feel good, suddenly you think good, and insecurities don't get to you that much. Even if you have some issues, you're like, you know what, but I'm looking good, I'm taking care of myself, and I'm in a good place, and so that can help you cope with some insecurities. And also, you need to accept your limits and celebrate the differences. So usually when we, because now we're in the social media age, everything is so readily available. Content creators that have cameras, good cameras. I know I sometimes get anxious about my content creation, because I'm like, I don't have a perfect camera, I don't have the lighting, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. But even that, accepting the limits that you have, because with what you have right now, it's good enough for your life. And accepting the differences, that you are different to someone else. You don't know how they got a hold of that equipment. You don't know how hard they had to work, what they sacrificed to be where they are. And so if you accept your own limits, maybe they don't even have the same belief systems that you have. Maybe they don't have the priorities that you have. Maybe you prioritize family and other things. And so you don't have, that luxury of enjoying certain things. And that's good because it's your limits. It's the way that you've chosen to live. And you now getting distracted with those other people's lives and all of that is not beneficial actually to where you are going. So you need to celebrate the differences, that you are different, you are in a different position, and so you don't need to be insecure about what you put out or what you have in your hand, because that's what you have in your hand and you rather need to celebrate it. And the last point is focus on the positives. When you are insecure, it's very difficult to focus on anything that's positive. Actually, you're looking for the negatives, as I have said in my first point. But you can write or have a gratitude journal. I'll also practice this, especially when it came to my relationship and just, motherhood and all these things, and my pregnancy, especially at this time, where I write a gratitude journal and I just remember to be grateful and remain positive. And just remember the positive things, and they don't cancel out, the negative feelings. If it's really too much, maybe you should seek professional help and someone that can walk you through the journey. But if it's just like normal insecurities, then think about a positive thing and change the statements that you make about yourself or about life or about others. If you feel like saying life sucks, maybe say life is the best. And even if you don't believe that, it will turn because of the power of the time. And we've reached now the end of our video. And I just wanted to ask you again, what shall we say to insecurities? If God is for us, no insecurity can be against us. So whether it's your project, whether it's your ministry, whether it's something that you're really trying to get right in your life, and you're just insecure about it, and you're just finding it difficult to be the person that you really are, that you know that God has made you to be, speak to that insecurity and tell it, if God is for me, you cannot be against me. I do not allow that. So thank you so much for watching. We'll have part 3 coming very soon, and I will be discussing inconsistency. I hope you like this video. Please comment, please subscribe, like, and share, and also just comment down below if you are in East London and you're looking forward to the woman event that we'll be having.